of us think mathematics is hard, but so we want to find out your educational background. Where did you go to school, and what actually prompted you to keep on going with mathematics in particular?
Okay, so I'll start from primary education. Unlike you, I heard you saying you went to Gayaza. Me, I went through a UPE school. Actually, UPE schools. In primary, I went through 2 schools. The first one was Kanjuchi CU Primary School. I was there from P1 up to P3. Then, from there, my dad changed the school. So I went to a Catholic school this time, St. Bruno Kanjuchi RC Primary School. All these are found in Kayunga, Kanjuchi village. Yeah.
Okay.
UPE schools, no putting on shoes.
All the way to senior 6.
No, that is primary.
Okay.
So from there, I joined Kanjuchi Senior Secondary School. It's also in Kayunga, Kanjuchi village, for both my O-level and A-level.
Okay. You did mention that you were not wearing shoes to school.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing, though, okay, for my case, my dad used to, at least I had shoes. But because other students were not putting on, so sometimes you'd find yourself being forced also to, for some days, to leave the shoes home and then go barefooted. Okay. So it was normal.
All right.
But maybe if there are occasions like speech days, that's when you would want to look smart. So I would put them on, but not every day.
Okay. All right. You have mentioned that you went through UPE schools, mostly, especially through primary. The notion is that these schools do not have the exact foundation to bring up, people in terms of education. People worry about the teachers. Are they up to standard? Do they worry about what is taught there, the curriculums that are taught there? From your experience, how did you going through these schools actually attract you towards mathematics today?
Okay, so first of all, I would attribute my interest in mathematics to my teachers. I had supportive teachers, and I was this kind of student. Okay, I used to be a little bit shy, but whenever it would come to classwork, I used to interact with teachers often. You'd find me after class with my books, reading, while other students were playing. So I was this reserved person. So that kind of helped me to be in touch with my teacher. I used to frequent my teachers. I used to ask them whenever, maybe if I have not understood something, I would go to them. Or like for mathematics, you try out a question and then you go and ask the teacher, please, I've done this, help me check whether it's correct, or where did I go wrong. And then as they guide you, they're giving you these nice compliments. Oh wow, you are done right from here up to here, but now look at this. I think here, you first look at it critically. So that kind of interaction with my teachers, they were welcoming, they were supportive. So basically I can say it's because of the good teachers. Yeah. Okay. They were supportive.
Dr. Olivia, the profile of people like you who achieve such big milestones, outstanding milestones, PhD in mathematics, usually the back trend of it is that you are, the first, or you were the best student at Uganda primary leaving examinations. You were the best at O-level. You were the best at L-level. Does your story follow the same trend?
Somehow, but not 100%.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I can talk briefly about that. For my primary PRE examinations, I had 10 aggregates from that school, 10 aggregates, and I was the best, and that was the only first grade. Yes. Then, O-level, for O-level, senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, I was really doing well, but the competition was stiff. Do you know what it means being in class and the people you're competing with are guys? Guys are not easy. If they decide to compete, it's not easy at all. So Senior 1, I used to be number 1, and then followed by some guys. So as time went on, I don't know, maybe I started getting scared. The competition was so tight. Nevertheless, I didn't perform badly. I had 19 aggregates, and that was a first no, not first class, a first
degree. I mean,
no,
sorry,
a first
first grade.
First grade.
Yes.
Yes. So I had 19 points. Maybe I can say I was around number 4. Yeah, during that year.
Okay.
That was 2007.
All right. Okay.
Then A level. So with my 19 aggregates, my teachers advised that I could do PCB mathematics. Yeah.
Oh.
So I went for PCB mathematics, the same school, and I got my 18 points.
Wow.
And the surprising bit, mathematics, 1-1, both papers, paper 1, paper 2.
1-1.
Yeah,
okay.
D1.
All right.
That's what I like most
Along
about
this
that.
entire journey, were you actually, in the back of your mind, were you intending to take mathematics as far as you have taken it today?
Not at all.
Okay.
Actually, my dream course was pharmacy. Yeah, much as I was doing biology, chemistry, most people would want to go for medicine and they become doctors and so on. But for me, I used to fear things, blood, and so I was like, with pharmacy, I don't need to
directly interact with
interact with patients and so on.
Medication. Yes.
So that was my dream course. But when I applied for government, we usually fill those forms. They're called job forms. Yeah. I remember I went to my uncle. My dad referred me to my uncle because he's a teacher, so maybe he felt that he could give better advice. So when I went to my uncle, he was asking me, how did you find the exams? So then I would look through the answers I wrote, and then I could gauge. For mathematics, I was sure it was going to be an A. Physics, I was sure I would not go beyond B. But for biology and chemistry, I was there. I wasn't sure. Yeah. So when I filled the job forms, of course, my first choice, I don't know why, I didn't want medicine, but I put my first choice as Gulu, University, medicine. I feared competition with
in Makerere University and Bara University. Yeah.
So Gulu, medicine, then some engineering courses. Education was the last choice. Okay. I think there were 6 choices. Bachelor of Science in Education was the last choice that I put. And I will not say unfortunately, that is the course I was given. So I remember during that time, my teachers were not impressed. They were like, oh, Olivia, we don't think this far. Yeah, we don't think you can manage being a teacher, because I was so quiet, I was shy. So they could never imagine me in class teaching. Yeah. So I actually remember one of the teachers, Mr. Semaganda Edward, he went and was trying to convince my dad that, please, if you can, this girl is bright, why don't you at least try and look for the money and take her for nursing at Makerere? She deserves a medical course. Yeah. So at some point, my dad seemed convinced. I went to Makerere, I applied for nursing, but towards reporting time, because semester, the academic year usually starts around August.
Yes.
Yeah. So around July, end of July, and my dad calls me and is like, you know what, Olivia, I think it's better if you go and do the other course, education, which they gave you on government. Yeah. Of course, I wasn't happy. I also never wanted to become a teacher, but it's my dad who had told me, and if I refuse, yet he's the one who is supposed to give me the money, then who was going to pay for me? Yeah, so I accepted and went, and that was at Bara University. That's where I did my undergraduate from. Okay. Yeah, Bachelor of Science in Education, Physics and Mathematics.
The subjects that you were actually very good at.
Yes, okay. I'm a teacher of physics and mathematics.
Okay, and which levels do you teach?
Okay, at the moment, university.
Okay.
University.
All right. So, of course, the dream is you have achieved your degree, you've put it there, now you enter into the job market. You have become a lecturer directly from university. Did you first become...
Okay, so this is what happened. I remember when we were almost finishing the degree, one of my lecturers called me to his office and was like, Olivia, you're still young and you have a lot of potential. Why don't you think about coming back to do a master's? But I was like, I don't have money. And even then, for me, my plan was, I finish this degree, I go out into the world, get like 5 schools, start teach here, teach there, and then get some good money. And the plan was, when I get that money, I should go and sponsor myself and do pharmacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
now here is someone telling you, you should come back
For a master's?
for a master's. So in my heart, I was like, if I come back for a master's, that means I'm now being a real
on
teacher.
This particular thing.
Yes, which I didn't want.
Okay.
But
so now you're interested into getting the master's. Obviously, you did the master's. What drives a 31-year-old young lady to pursue a PhD in mathematics?
okay, now first of all, right from primary, I loved numbers. I used to enjoy the subject. Yeah, and in fact, I don't think, okay, I'll be telling lies if I say that on my reading timetable, I used to include mathematics. The way I would read math is just getting questions and randomly, no specific time, maybe when you're relaxing a bit or you're from class reading, and then you're like, okay, let me just try this question. Let me just calculate this. And then I would keep my solutions, wait for the teacher the following day to ask. So it was just, I just had passion
Hobby,
for it, yeah. And I loved finding solutions. I just loved
some of us stopped at finding X, but you loved finding solutions. Okay, all right.
Because by the way,
we found X, we found Y, and later on we found out that the combination of X, Y is a boy when a woman goes into labor and gives birth. Okay,
yeah, and by the way, that also helped me keep close to my teachers. I used to admire them. I was like, okay. By the way, when I was still in primary, I used to say, I wanted to become, to be like my HM. She was a lady. So I would tell my dad and my mom that when I grow up, I also want to be a head teacher of a primary school. So at every level, I used to, now the focus would change.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Wow, us journalists are not known for our strengths, but then again, in terms of numbers. So what does a PhD mean, especially in mathematics? Someone told me that in the layman's language, it's permanent head damage. In the layman's language.
Really?
Yes.
Permanent head damage?
Yes. So what does it mean to, to hold a PhD?
Okay, now PhD, I think, across all disciplines, is pure research. Yeah, so this is a point where you have to sit down, look at situations, and then try to analyze, observe, and come up with something. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, they prefer that you also get something new. But of course, you can't come up with something new completely on your own. You base on the already existing literature. But you want to build on the existing body of knowledge.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about the topic that you chose to have pure study in, pattern avoidance and behavior of permutation statistics. Why did you go that direction?
Oh, okay. Now, first of all, that topic is from a branch of pure mathematics called enumerative combinatorics. And under enumerative combinatorics, we are basically interested in counting. Yes, we are basically interested in counting. For example, I would give an example. We are seated here. So when you're there and I'm here, that is one possible arrangement of sitting. But I can also come there and you come here. We are two people. So that means we have how many ways of...
Two arrangements.
Two arrangements. Now, what if there are three people? How many arrangements do you think you have?
Those are 2 times 3, 6 arrangements.
Okay, it's correct. Yeah, so you realize that you're counting the number of different ways of maybe arranging objects. Yeah, so basically my topic, and by the way, those different ways of arranging objects are what we call permutations. And those flattened partitions for my research topic are just a special class of permutations. Though for them they have some special properties, which I will not talk about here.
No,
I don't want to scare you. Yeah, so basically I was looking at that class of permutations, and I was interested in finding out more properties about those kind of permutations. Yeah, so now that is pure mathematics. That's the branch that I opted for. Why? Because as I told you earlier, I loved numbers, I loved counting. Yeah, so that's why I opted for that branch of mathematics.
Okay. All right. So talking about the academic career, you have earlier mentioned that when you're growing up, you wanted to be a head teacher someday. You're at 31 years of age. I'm pretty sure you can get an appointment of a head teacher somewhere. Is that still the direction, or the direction has completely changed?
The direction has completely changed. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the current direction now?
So at the moment, I want to be a researcher. I want to actively engage in research, and you know where that leads me to. I have dreams of becoming a professor one day. I want to become a professor. I don't know how many years from now, but that's where I'm looking forward to.
All right. You have talked about research, and mathematics, of course, falls in the sciences. Most recently, we've had the government, and through the president, making a commitment to enhancing and boosting sciences to be able to then benefit us as a country, Uganda, in terms of fighting diseases like COVID-19. We shouldn't be dependent on the foreign world to be able to, contribute to our own health in terms of solutions. So let's talk about how mathematics contributes to solutions, and what are some of those contributions currently that you have worked on that are being adopted into societal implementations today.
Okay, so I will not start with my work.
Okay.
But I'll comment about mathematics in general, how we can use it to solve some of the current problems that we have. So I think you remember during COVID times, when the president would brief us about what the scientists had found out, the predictions that, okay, after this period of time, the cases would have risen, so the citizens need to be careful and do A, B, C, D. Those models which they were using to predict, those are mathematical models. Yeah. So people in the medical field need mathematicians. Those models are mathematical. And you saw how they helped the world, I should say the entire world, to help us know what will happen after a certain period of time. Yeah. Then, when I go to my work, I can say that the applications may not be immediate. Of course, it requires more time and maybe more research to get to understand the deeper meaning and implications. So that's how pure mathematics is. Usually in pure mathematics, it's basically logical thinking. Can you be able to think and also come up with something? That's the kind of research that I was doing. So I can't really say that this can be the application, but I'm sure applications are there given time and maybe more research.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in terms of the PhD that you have been occurred with, what's the salary scale?
I think salary scales for lecturers are known. They are known.
Yes, there's a person out there, there's a lady out there that is watching you, probably in one way or another. They have as much interest in mathematics. They didn't know they could take it as far as a PhD. And so what is your word of encouragement, word of inspiration to that lady, that young man out there?
Okay, to the young ones, to my little ones, my brothers and sisters, I just want to encourage you that where you come from doesn't matter. Yes, because there are actually some students in the villages who think that for them they can't become anyone. Yeah, they think that some of these careers, these opportunities are for children who come from well-to-do families. So I just want you to look at me as an inspiration from Kanjuchi village up to here. Yeah, at least that alone is some inspiration to some student out there who may be discouraged and has lost hope. Yeah, that you too can make it. You can be anything that you want in this life as long as you're focused. Yeah, be focused, be patient, be a humble child, listen to your parents, don't be disobedient, because the moment you disobey your parents, that means God will also lose touch with you and you may end up getting lost.
All right, all right. But also just one last encouragement. The young ones may have time. You've achieved yours at 31. But there's also those that are older but still have dreams and hope that they will achieve. Is it possible?
It's very possible.
All right.
Yes, I've been, like for example, the program I was on, yeah, we've been with the students, PhD students, who are a little bit older. But
in their 40s, in their 50s.
50s, yeah.
50s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had the courage.
Yeah.
So if someone in their 50s can go back, then how about you? It's courage. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a nice way to close it up. It's courage, and from Kanjuchi, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is that you have a dream and that you can achieve it no matter where you are coming from. But that you can also be anything as long as you have a focus for what you want.